I'm not about to waste no time. We about to get straight into it. When a console is announced, the first thing you look for is what game's gonna be on it. The most important thing to a console is the launch titles, in my opinion. Well, not the most important thing, but one of the most important things, because the launch titles have to be worthwhile for you to actually get up and buy the system. It's the reason that Xbox One did not do well because they were over here trying to make a DVD player only. When you are known as a video game console, the launch titles are important. And today we're going to talk about the launch titles, the good, the bad, and what the hell were they thinking sometimes. So let's get to it. We're just going to be everywhere in this video because the first thing we're going to talk about is the 3DS launch titles and how I used to wonder why didn't this sell well when it first dropped? And then I looked at these goddamn launch titles and what in the hell was Nintendo thinking? Like, I love the 3DS, but good lord, look at these launch titles. This shit reeks. Let me say something. If you are a popular company and you launch your console with no IPs, that is insane to me. Look, I would like some brand new games, but launching with no IPs is insanity. No Mario, no Metroid, no Punch Out, no nothing on the 3DS. You launched this motherfucker with Steel Diver. Steel Diver? Street Fighter 4? Who wants to play Street Fighter 4 on a 3DS? Maybe like no. You're gonna want to play Street Fighter 4 on your PlayStation 3 or Xbox 360. Let's be honest here. Look, come on now, look at this 3DS catalog. This is shameful. They launched this with Asphalt 3D. All of us could play that on our Androids back in the day. What are they thinking? This is a bad example. I mean, this is an example of a horrible launch list. Even if the 3DS is cool, you're gonna buy it and be like, what am I really gonna play on this? Like when you look at all these games gameplay, you're gonna be like, bro, I don't wanna play none of this. I don't wanna play Sims 3 on my 3DS when I can just play it on anything else. Cause by now most people already had consoles at home. So they were like, why would I get this? Maybe if you were a person that strictly only had a 3DS, but then I feel bad for you because you had nothing to play. Good lord. A good chunk of the 3DS catalog was just ports. And you thought I was going to spend, I think what was like 300 when it dropped on this and there's nothing to play? Good thing was 3DS games were just $40. But like, what am I gonna do with it? I'm just gonna, what? All right. Now to talk about the PS4 and PS5 launch titles. Usually when I talk about launch titles, I mean games that are strictly on that system, not a game that was on a previous system before. Because I mean, you can just get it on the previous system before. The PS4 gave us Killzone, Shadowfall, and Knack. And if I remember correctly, there's probably more, but they really thought you was gonna get a PS4 for Killzone, Shadowfall, and Knack. Killzone, Shadowfall, and Knack. I've never to this day have still played Knack. You know what? I'm going to go look at gameplay. I'm really looking at it. The main reason you would get a PS4 is due to hype. Like, because Killzone, you're going to play it. It's probably going to be like a cool time. Killzone was like, it was cool. It was a cool game. And then Knack is Knack. So you really got the PS4 and you ain't really playing nothing like great until March. And that's when Infamous Second Son came out. And in my opinion, they should have waited until Infamous Second Son came out so they could have that be a launch. I'm telling you, a system should launch with an IP. Why do they do this? Why do they do this? No! The PS5 was like, all right, let us actually lock in and come out with an IP. They were like, yeah, we're going to come out with Sackboy and Miles Morales. They were cooking. They were indeed cooking. And then Godfall, they gave you a new game, Godfall, and Godfall was just Godfall. Like it's the most okay thing ever. And then I think it was one more. Hold on. Shame on me for forgetting. They came out with three IPs. And they came out with Demon Souls remake. I'm not the biggest fan of Demon Souls. I think it's one of the weakest Souls games, but still that game looks amazing. I still think that's one of the best looking hyper realistic video games of all time. Every time I look at Demon Souls, I am in awe. And imagine if they had made Bloodborne the same way. Imagine if PlayStation cared about Bloodborne. Imagine if anyone cared about Bloodborne. Yeah, yeah. But the PS5, I think the PS5 is an example of, I don't know if I might give it in between good and great launch title. I think they gave us three good games and then one okay game. You had something to play for a good while until the next game came out. I am genuinely convinced the Xbox One era and the PS4 era both just didn't want you to go buy their consoles because they both launched with really nothing. The Xbox One was like his Rise Son of Rome, one of the greatest 7 out of 10 games of all time. It was more of a spectacle on how it looked more so than the gameplay. Forza. I mean, Forza is Forza. I don't think that's a system seller, but Forza is Forza. Maybe it's a system seller for strictly Xbox people. And then you had Dead Rising 3. And I mean, it did launch with an IP though. I give them that. They did launch with an IP. They gave you Dead Rising 3. I don't know how where Dead Rising 3 stands to the fans, but I don't think Dead Rising 3 is enough to get somebody up and be like, I'm finna go get that Xbox One. So yeah, the PS4 and Xbox One was bullshit in launch days. Just just out there shitting and not wiping. Just sitting there in the funk. All right, I thought I was tripping, but I'm looking more and more at these launch titles, and I think sometimes these motherfuckers just be bullshitting. Like, I really genuinely think they do not put love in the game for this, because I'm looking at the PS3 and the Xbox 360 launch titles, mind you, one of the greatest consoles ever. Boy, would you really get these day one? Would you? Look at these launch titles. Like, Call of Duty 2, 3, yeah, that's cool, you know. Perfect Dark Zero, you know, it came out with an IP. But Perfect Dark Zero is a disastrous sequel. I can't lie, I played it, I was like, ugh, fuck no. Another thing about this PS3 and 360 era of launch titles, they was trying to give you every football, basketball game in the world. Jesus, where's the variety? I think this is the era where people gravitated to just playing sports games because that's all they put in your face at the time. Dang, good lord. Like, I think I see why a lot of people wait a year or two before they buy a new console, because most of the time launch titles is not worth it. I thought I was going to be more on a positive side in this video, but as I look more and more, these launch titles are just sorry. Maybe it will get better as I go deeper into the past. We're on the Wii right now, and the Wii isn't so much better, but the Wii is in the lead for having one of the best launch title games of all time, and that's Wii Sports. Like, we know what Wii Sports is. I don't have to talk too much about it. That is probably one of the greatest launch title games of all time. It's just really unfair to compare to the rest, but everything else that we had going on was just cool. It dropped the WarioWare. You had Twilight Princess, but that was a GameCube game. But I mean, Twilight Princess is kind of a different game in a sense, way it's played with the Wii motion. But the Wii so far is probably the second best that I've talked about so far. Like, really, Wii Sports can carry you for a long time until an actual genuine game come out like Brawl or something, or Mario Galaxy. It's very weird though. They did not drop the Wii with like a big IP. I don't know what it is with these companies and what they be thinking in the boardroom. Like, no Prime, no Mario, no Zelda, no Punch Out, no. The Wii didn't have a Star Fox game. I was just thinking of that. The Wii launch title was kind of meh, but Wii Sports was in there like, let me carry. Hold on now, wait a minute. Nintendo may be number one. Nintendo may be cooking here because the GameCube came out with a little something. You know what I'm saying? It's Crazy Taxi, one of the best arcade games ever. You had Rogue Squadron 2. You had a Wave Race. I can't lie. They doing something here. They doing something. And then they dropped with an IP. They dropped with an IP and a brand new idea with the IP. Luigi's Mansion. And recently I beat Luigi's Mansion, I think like last year. And I can't lie, that is a very great game to start the GameCube off with. Of course, you had your typical sports games. You had a Tarzan game, and you had a Batman game, but a Batman game is not good until we get to Arkham, so there's no point even talking about that. And then you had Super Monkey Ball. The GameCube was really catering to arcadeness. So the GameCube had some, you had a little play, and then all you gotta do is wait a month and you get Melee. So hey, I think this is probably one of the best launch titles so far. I got two more. And the next one we're gonna talk about is the PS2. One of the greatest video games and consoles of all time. Over 4,000 games on it. But you probably wondering, what did this come out with? Well, I'm glad you asked, Mr.hitdat, because he about to hit you with that information. It's funny that this is called the PS2, and three of the launch titles I see are sequels. Dead or Alive 2, Armored Core 2, Dynasty Warriors 2. You see the diversity right there? You got one action game, you got one fighting game, and you got one big robot go boom game. And these are all good games. These will all take your time. You will buy these day one and have a great time. And you thought I was done, but there's more. They got Street Fighter EX3, one of my personally favorite Street Fighter games, just because of how wacky it is and how wacky the combos get and how different things are. You got Tekken Tag Tournament. I can't lie. No wonder a lot of people in this area love playing fighting games. It was back-to-back fighting games. You got Tekken Tag Tournament. You sitting there with Time Splitters. The first Time Splitters at that. You have variety on it. You got you a Ridge Racer. You got an SSX. I heard a lot of people love XXX. I still have not yet to play one. I never played a snowboarding game in my life. But the PS2, you had something to play day one immediately. That's why I remember seeing them PS2 um first day videos. People was hyped to get it because it was a lot to play day one on that PS2. You got so many different varieties of games opening the PS2. They even got the first Midnight Club launching on the PS2. And I would argue that PS2 may have the number one, two, or three spot on this list. And I'll let y'all know by the end of this list. But then I got one more system to talk about, and it's the Sega Dreamcast. Before I start, would like to say the Sega Dreamcast deserves so much more love. Despite that ugly ass fucking controller, the Dreamcast deserves so much more. It was a lot of games on there with a lot of fun and heart, a cool menu, and it deserves more love. And the launch titles I'm about to say is a very big reason why. Because the launch titles, I'm shocked more people did not go get up and get a Dreamcast. I really am. Because they had Sonic Adventure 1 dropping day one with Soul Calibur 1. Come on now, bro. Is that not worth it already? Is that not worth it? Then you got Power Stone 1, day one release. Hypo Thunder, day one release. I can't lie. If you had money like that back then, you bought a Dreamcast, you had shit to play for like months, bro. This is unstoppable. You had Ready to Rumble Boxing. The game with Shaq and Michael Jackson in it. And then this, to me, one of the best football games of all time, NFL Blitz 2000s. Me and my homies still play all these Dreamcast games to this day. Almost every time we link, we plugging up that NFL Blitz and we playing that. You hear me? Come on, brother. Don't play with the Dreamcast. The Dreamcast got to be top three. When it comes to launch titles in this video, the Dreamcast got to be top three. There ain't no way you're not with me. And the only way you not with me is if you never played any of these. And I need you to somehow get these games, definitely not through emulation, and play these, bro. Please, the Dreamcast might be number one. Like, the Dreamcast is peak when it comes to launch titles. So, the whole point of this video is to show y'all a different perspective on how you should buy the next coming consoles day one, because launch titles are very important. You know, like, you will have to stick with these games until the next big game come out for these consoles. And I think exclusives don't matter, but in a world where exclusivity is a big thing at times, it kind of does matter what the system comes out with. So that's why sometimes you should be hesitant, like, should I go get this day one? Because as you can see in this video, a lot of these things came out with nothing to play. And I get on the Switch 2 for a lot of things, but at least the Switch 2 came out with a Mario Kart and, oh my god, what else did the Switch 2 come out with? Did it only come out with Mario Kart? I think it came out with something else. But launch titles are one of the most important things. How you begin something and how you end something really matters. The journey can be amazing, and the journey is the most important part. The in-between years are the most important part. But I can't lie. As you can see, people only jump in when it's 2 years down the line, or like at the end of its life cycle, because now they got a bunch of stuff to play. In the beginning, it don't be shit to do on there. But that's my video for today. Hell yeah, I'm Mr. Hit That.
Here's your order, sir. Thanks.